In this video I'm going to cover the basics of the dodging system in Final Fantasy XV. More specifically, I'll be looking at 7 different mechanics or tools in the game that are used for damage prevention. These are phasing, blocking, parrying, blink, dodge roll, idle warp, and impervious. I'm aware that there are other ways to avoid damage, like certain attacks with dodge properties and simply running or jumping, but these 7 are the only ones I consider to be primarily meant for defense. It should be noted that Ring of the Lucia and Shield of the Just have unique defensive properties, but I have already talked extensively about those in 2 other videos. For the same reason, I won't talk about phase counters in this video. With all that out of the way, let's begin with the bread and butter of defense in Final Fantasy XV, phasing. When you hold down the phase button, Noctis will enter a stance where he will automatically dodge enemy attacks. Not all attacks can be dodged like this, but the vast majority of attacks in the game are phaseable. Unphaseable attacks tend to be large AoE attacks or grab attacks, but there are exceptions. The phasing animation does have recovery frames, which means you can still be hit by phaseable attacks if their hitboxes line up perfectly. However, this vulnerability period is extremely short. Phasing has an MP cost, but this cost is not static. The MP cost of phasing through an attack increases the longer you are in the phasing stance, but this caps relatively quickly after roughly 2 to 3 seconds. Initially this maximum cost is 15 MP, but light phase and ultralight phase nodes, which reduce phasing cost by 33 and 50% respectively, also permanently take this maximum cost down to 10 with light phase and only 7 with ultralight phase. Some outfits and accessories can also further reduce phasing costs, and all of these stack additively. However, the cost of normal phasing can never be reduced below 1 MP. If you try to phase while in stasis, Noctis will instead block with his hands, reducing incoming damage by about 80%. Instead of phasing, Noctis will block if you have a shield equipped. Blocking is very similar to phasing in the sense that all phaseable attacks can be blocked and vice versa. It also has a similar vulnerability period between blocks. However, there are some key differences between blocking and phasing. Blocking has a static cost of 3 MP, and this can't be reduced in any way. It is also just as effective in stasis, so blocking doesn't actually require MP to begin with. Some enemies also stagger when they hit a shield. There is no timing to this, it only depends on which attack the enemy uses. You cannot block while in the air, Noctis will phase instead even if you have a shield equipped. However, equipping a shield lets you phase in the air even while in stasis. Some enemy attacks can be parried, and this is indicated by the enemy flashing as it's about to attack, as well as with the parry prompt appearing on your screen. These indicators will not appear if the parryable attack is targeted towards your party members, though those can still be parried. If Noctis is in phasing stance while being hit by a parryable attack, he will automatically parry it. There is no timing involved. However, you do have to counterattack in time by pressing the attack button immediately after a successful parry. Failing to counter in time can either result in you taking the full damage of the attack, reduced damage, or no damage at all. It all depends on the attack in question. You need to have equipped a weapon that can parry in order to see the prompt and parry successfully, otherwise Noctis will just phase the attack if able. Parrying doesn't cost MP and can be done in stasis, though you can't parry in the air under normal circumstances. Parrying is also one of 2 ways to trigger link strikes. Blink is unlocked by activating the blink node on the Ascension grid. It does exactly what it says here. By pressing the phase button just as the enemy's attack is about to hit you, you can phase through it with no MP cost. With Blink Boost, you even gain 20 MP on every successful blink. However, like many descriptions in this game, this one also leaves out all the actually important information. Saving MP is good and all, but the well-timed phase will at most cost 3 MP anyway, which is practically free. Blink lets you cancel out of almost any animation in the entire game. The only exceptions I know of are dodge roll recovery and phasing vulnerability frames. Even if you commit to a large swing on a heavy weapon, you can cancel it to evade enemy attacks. Mastering this ability effectively removes any risk from committing to an attack. Blink works with phasing, blocking and parrying. This means you can parry at any time without needing to be in the stance, and you can even recover MP in stasis by blinking with the shield if you have the blink boost node activated. Blinking also allows you to cancel any fall damage by tapping the phase button just as you're about to hit the ground. Yes, any fall damage, from any height. It's a basic dodge roll like in every action game. Instant iframes with some recovery frames at the end. It's got no MP cost, just tap the phase button to perform this. If you try to warp strike while not locked onto an enemy, Noctis will warp in whichever direction he's facing. Like the dodge roll, this has instant iframes and even a recovery frame or two at the end. However, it takes you significantly farther and costs 30 MP. This idle warp can change depending on your weapon. Usually this is just difference in speed and animation, but with weapons that can't warp strike, Noctis will instead do this short range dash. Warping through enemies with the idle warp does damage to them, and while you won't win any DPS awards with this, it still deals good damage for its speed. Curiously, Royal Arms seem to do sword type damage with their idle warps instead of typeless damage like they do with their other attacks. You also don't lose health when you attack enemies in this way with the Royal Arms. Impervious is unlocked by activating the corresponding node on the Ascension grid. This allows you to heal back and effectively nullify almost any damage Noctis has just received by tapping the phase button at the right time after being hit by an enemy attack. However, this cannot be done if said attack knocked Noctis into danger state. Because the correct timing is during Noctis' stagger animation, if the enemy attack causes stop or petrify on you, you can cancel the damage after the status effect has worn off. And that's it for this guide. Feel free to ask in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks for watching and take care.